What is up, guys? Alvaro here. Welcome to the Bilingual Stock Market channel again. In this channel, we talk about the stock market, but we do it in two different languages, English and Spanish. So if English is not your cup of tea, you can also watch this for the same video narrated by me in Spanish. And in this video, I want to make a quick stock market update going over what happened today in the United States stock market, more specifically going over the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, which are the most important indices of the United States stock market. And at the end of the video, I am going to be telling you guys the 3 stocks on the top of my watch list for tomorrow's trading session, and I will also be breaking down those stocks from a technical standpoint. So let's get started. And what a day, guys. So we have 2 new all-time highs when it comes to the major indices of the United States stock market. The Dow Jones reached a new all-time high today, and it closed up 0.53%. The S&P 500 also reached a new all-time high. We are going to be breaking down the S&P 500 in just a second. So the S&P 500 closed the day up 0.65%, and the NASDAQ 100 also closed the day in the green, up 1.12% on the day. And what you guys can see on your screens is the 10-year Treasury. So this is something that you guys need to keep a very close watch on, because what is the 10-year Treasury, guys? Well, the 10-year Treasury is some sort of loan that you can make to the United States federal government, okay? The 10-year Treasury is the most popular debt instrument in the world because it is backed by the United States, and I'm quoting, full faith and credit clause, okay? So if the 10-year Treasury goes up too much, there is a logic, okay, that is based on the fact that if the 10-year Treasury goes up too much, a good portion of money that is invested into growth-oriented stocks and tech stocks is going to flow into the 10-year Treasury, okay? So as traders and as investors, we have to keep a close watch on whatever the 10-year Treasury does, okay? And today, the 10-year Treasury traded slightly above 1.6%. So let's say that anything between 1.6% and 1.5% will not lead to major distortions in the markets, okay? However, if we happen to see the 10-year Treasury going above 1.8%, or 1.9%, not to mention bursting above 2%, oh boy, that would be a whole different story, okay? So keep a close watch on whatever the 10-year Treasury is doing, okay? And now let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500, guys. So today, and you guys can see it over here, we dropped right at the opening, but the bulls managed to hold 39.23 as a lower support, and after the bulls held 39.23, we pretty much pulled up for the rest of the day, okay? The bulls took on the former all-time high at around 39.60, and they made a new all-time high at around 39.70, okay? The S&P 500 closed a bit below the new all-time high at 39.68.94. So tomorrow, guys, what could happen tomorrow? Tomorrow the bulls have a big goal ahead of themselves, which would be taking on 4,000 points in the S&P 500. Okay, that would be, in my opinion, the next big level of resistance for the bulls in the S&P 500. On the flip side, okay, to the downside, and if we happen to see a good drop in the S&P 500, 39.14 is a big level of support because it was a previous support on March 11th and March 12th as well, okay? And it also was a former resistance back on March 10th. Okay, so if this index happens to pull back, it is very likely to find a good support at around 39.15. Okay, and when it comes to the NASDAQ 100, let me pull up here the chart of the NASDAQ 100, and we can see, guys, that we have a very important resistance coming up tomorrow on the NASDAQ 100 at around 13,118 points, give or take. Okay, to the downside, all right, we have 12,769 points. Okay, so if we see this index pulling back, we can assume that 12,769 points should provide a good support in case of a drop, because it was a solid support, okay, for the NASDAQ on March 10th and on March 12th as well. Okay, if the bulls take on tomorrow, guys, 13,118 points, give or take, watch out for 13,300 points, okay, as an upcoming important level of overhead resistance for the bulls on the NASDAQ 100. Okay, and we can also look, you guys can see over here that we have an uptrend on the 10-day chart of the NASDAQ. So there's nothing wrong here for the bulls, okay, as long as they stay above 12,769 points, as I said before, because this was a good support for the bulls on the NASDAQ back on March 12th and back on March 10th as well, and it is also a former resistance back from March 4th. Okay, so watch out for these levels tomorrow on the NASDAQ 100, guys. And when it comes to the three stocks on the top of my watch list for tomorrow's trading session, the first one is going to be Advanced Micro Devices, ticker symbol AMD. You guys know this stock. So in the case of AMD, guys, we can see, and I am going to zoom in on the 4-hour chart, that as of now, AMD is trading between the moving averages, the 180 SMA and the 50 SMA, okay? So take a look at this, guys. If tomorrow we happen to see AMD pulling back and breaking this 50 SMA to the downside, we can assume that it is going to find a good support at around $79.26, okay, where you guys can see this red line, because AMD has already held this price at around $79, you know, and change 4 times in the past, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4 times, okay? And the next overhead resistance for AMD is going to be this red line that you guys can see over here at around $84.75, give or take, okay? And why? Well, because $84.75 per share, guys, was a former support back in November of last year, okay? So it should act as overhead resistance if AMD happens to pull up, okay? So what's my plan with AMD, guys? If we happen to see $79.40 or $79.21, I am going to be picking up some shares of AMD for sure. And take a look at this. From $79.21 up to the next big resistance that AMD has, which is as I said before, $84.50 or $85, we have a 7% profit, okay? Which is nothing to sneeze at, taking into account that we are talking about a short-term trade. As of now, guys, AMD is, let me see over here, AMD is something like 17% of its highs. So additionally, we have a very attractive discount, okay, from a long-term perspective in the case of AMD. And watch out tomorrow, as I said before, if we see a pullback in this stock at around $79.50 or $80, $2 per share, okay? And the second stock of this video is going to be Sndl Growers, guys, ticker symbol SNDL, okay? And in the case of Sndl Growers, guys, this stock went up today 14%, okay? I mean, for the most part, most MJ stocks had a very solid day. And why? Well, because the governor of New York, Mr. Andrew Cuomo, said today, and I am quoting what he said something like, "We are very close on MJ." End quote. So most of the MJ stocks out there had a very solid day today in the markets, okay? Because it looks like MJ is very likely to be legalized anytime soon in New York, okay? So if we zoom in on the 4-hour chart, in the case of Sndl, we can see that we have a very big resistance coming up. Sndl closed the trading session today at $1.62, okay? So we have a very strong resistance coming up at around $1.94, okay? Sndl is trading slightly above, let me zoom in here again, so take a look, this is the 4-hour chart, all right? And Sndl is trading above the two moving averages, the 180 and the 50 SMA, okay, but the RSI is a bit elevated, guys. We find the RSI at 67 points, 66 points, okay? So we could see a retracement tomorrow, maybe to the $1.30 per share, okay, near the 50 SMA. That would be a nice spot to pick up some shares of Sndl. As of now, I own 500 shares of this stock, okay, at an average price of $2, and I am actually looking forward to adding more shares to my position. So if tomorrow we see a retracement of Sndl, as I said before, because the RSI is a bit elevated, so if we see Sndl visiting the 50 SMA at $1.31 or $1.28, okay, I will be adding more shares to my position. And the question is, take a look at this, guys. Since we have a very big resistance coming up at $1.93, can Sndl burst above, say, $1.93 or $2 per share, with the RSI being already at 66 points? Let's see what happens tomorrow with Sndl. And the last stock of this video is going to be Lemonade, guys, ticker symbol LMND. And in the case of Lemonade, guys, this stock got absolutely decimated because of the massive sell-off that we saw on tech and growth stocks recently. Lemonade is trading as of now, guys, 40% off its high. So here we have another very attractive discount from a long-term perspective. And if we zoom in on the 4-hour chart, we can see that Lemonade is actually trading between the moving averages, the 180 and the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. As of now, I own 30 shares of Lemonade at an average price of, I would say, $115 per share, okay? And what's my plan? Well, my plan is adding more shares to my position if Lemonade happens to pull back down to $102 per share, which has been a good support for Lemonade 4 times in the past. Let's count 1, 2, 3, and 4 times, okay? Watch out for $113 per share, guys, because $113 is a former support that is very likely to act as a new resistance. Take a look at this. It was a former support for Lemonade back in January of this year. So this is going to be a very tough spot for Lemonade most likely, okay? Nevertheless, Lemonade is a very volatile stock, guys, so don't be surprised of seeing Lemonade climbing up to the 180 SMA if it happens to burst above $113 with good momentum and volume. Okay, the RSI is at 61 points, a bit high, arguably. Okay, so let's don't rule out a pullback, okay, down to $105, or even better, guys, $102 per share to let the relative strength index calm down a bit. So watch out for Lemonade tomorrow, guys, either pulling back, as I said before, down to $102, or maybe, who knows, bursting above $113 per share. Okay. Okay, guys, I am going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for your attention. If you found value in this video, please hit that like button for me and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done it yet. Remember that we are posting these stock market updates Mondays through Thursdays. So if you want to get our notifications in a timely manner, you'd better be subscribed to the channel. And remember that this is the Bilingual Stock Market channel, the YouTube channel in which we talk about the stock market, but we do it in 2 different languages, English and Spanish, but most importantly, the YouTube channel in which we know that the wonderful world of Wall Street is not for geniuses, it is for entrepreneurs just like you guys and myself. My name is Alvaro, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.